All right, hello. This is our recording for week 9 of Python 101. Working with CSV files this week. So I have a excuse me, forgive me. Voice is kind of out today. Been having a bit of a cold the past few days. Take a sip of water. Hopefully that should help. All right. So, we're starting to work with CSV files. This was very fun to learn about and to kind of start to play around with. This is one of the first kind of like ways of like actually manipulating like a file and changing data that I've really worked with before, and this is it's very cool. It's very fun and satisfying to see such a tangible result of your work. So yeah, and also it's really neat to learn about this file format and just how clever it is and like straightforward and simple. You don't really need a lot of information in order to make a table. So it's pretty clever the way that they are laid out and how easy they are to operate in on with Python. Just kind of by consequence of its design and how it handles lists and strings and all that. Excuse me. So, anywho, without babbling on any longer, I guess I'll start explaining what I had to do here. So, this is the meat of my program here. So, I have my files over here on the left, my code's in the middle, and then over here I have a view of our CSV file. This is just a handy little plugin that I found for PyCharm. It's very nice. It color codes all the values, so you can easily tell them apart, and you can view them both as raw text like this, which makes it easier to comprehend, and think of as a string, or you can see it as a table editor, so you can think of it that way. So that's nice. Anywho, just so you knew what that was, I just wanted to explain that real quick. Even though it's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, so this is our list that we start with, and we worked on this in class, going through. We have obviously a tremendous amount of data here, way too many columns, just a lot of extraneous information that we don't need. So what we're gonna do is, and what we did, we did the hard part of it really in class, which is finding out which columns we do want to keep, which is our keep list here. And once we have that, it's actually really, really simple to just grab those because of the nature of this, like I was saying, but we'll get onto that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. First off, we have our function to print the headers. This is the thing that we made in class, which helped us, determine this list here. It just prints the first line of the, in the first line, it prints every value, is a more precise way to describe what it does. Sorry. So it goes through and it prints each value of each line with a number and like a little delimiter, so that we know which position they are in the list. Then the next thing we have is build the report. So once we have these these keep values, we want to build a new report. Now, we're not going to edit the report that we already have, because that is destructive, and it's more, it's just better to do it this way. So we're going to make a new empty list. We're going to go through the entire list, just have the raw lines named. So this goes through the entire list of lines. And then within each line, it strips them into their values, right? It prints that list, and then it makes another empty set here, or not empty set, empty list. Excuse me, I just said empty set because of the math term. So it makes another to represent the filtered rows. Then it goes through each index in the keep list. So for each value in this list, we're gonna check if it's less than the length of the list that we just made so that we don't go out of bounds, right? And then we just append the index at that point. We just take the information from that column and we add it to that list. Pretty straightforward. There's no like funny business necessary. No like marking for kill or anything like that. You just grab the value that you want and you stick it in your list, and then you wrap it back up with some commas and you return it. Then our write report function, when given a file name as output, is going to build the report. So it's going to call this function. This one relies on this one. And then it's going to set an out file, and then each line in that report that it got from here, because again, report data is just the return of this function here. It's going to loop through that, and for each line, just write to the file and add a new line delimiter at the end of each line, because that's how CSV files separate their lines. That's how they're stored. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. A lot less complicated than I initially thought. Because like when I was thinking about this, at first I was kind of overwhelmed. I was like, oh geez, I'm gonna have to like, loop through, like, loop within loops. And I was getting overwhelmed by like how much work I might have to do here. But then I just remembered the way the lists work. You can just loop through by index and grab what you need. So yeah, very, very convenient. So anyways, let's give this a test, why don't we? So in my main Jupyter notebook here, and this is going to be the structure of the file that I send you. There's a reason that I have my files over here. I'm going to have my my notebook, my room report CSV, and my class 9 utils. That's all that we're going to have, right? We're going to have the utils. This is the notebook, which contains the driver that runs it. And then it's going to write another file into here. So if this works, we should see another file pop up in here, and then we can open it up in our viewer over here, and we can just confirm that everything works. So let's do that. Click this. Fantastic. It prints the headers. That's exactly what, that looks correct. Don't see any mistakes there. Yep. Then we get, the raw data, not, converted back. It's just a bunch of lists. It's a list of lists. And then, because, that's what build report returns, is a list of lists. And then we're going to write report. So basically what this does is it takes this list of lists and writes each list within the list, which is like a value in the list, with a new line after it. I was trying to think of the best way to say that without it sounding totally garbled and stepping over myself. Hold on now. Only thing I'm concerned about is I can get an output. Now that is odd. Why is that? Do I just need to refresh? Because last time this worked automatic. One moment. I did test this a moment ago and it was working, but you know how things can be. Let me documents by the one. Okay, it is in there. I don't know why it's not showing up here. Hold on, let me there it is. Okay, filtered report.csv. All right, I don't know why that didn't show up immediately. Earlier it refreshed on its own, but I guess now it didn't want to. So we can open this up, and we're gonna move it over to where the other one is, so it's easier to look at. And so this is our original, right? We have building, room capacity, all this. We have a ton of headers, like way too many headers. But then here we just have building, room capacity, CRN, subject, course, whether it's online or not, department, title, begin date, end date, begin, end, time, max, actual, and email. So it all fits on this one screen. Don't even have to scroll side to side. So it worked. This is the result that we wanted, and we have a beautiful list, color coordinated, all that good stuff. Like I was saying, it's just very satisfying to have this output, and this feels great. super fun to learn about this stuff, and can't wait to see where we go with this and what we go on to do in the future. Anyway, that's about all I can think of to say for this. It's pretty straightforward. But there's like a little bit of nuances, and obviously this is a different kind of way of doing it than what we were beginning to do in class, but it just seemed kind of like more of a straightforward way to do it, to me at least. And I didn't have to import any libraries or anything like that, which was the main goal. So yeah, I will see you in class tomorrow.